Welcome to the Innovation and Compliance Podcast, part of the Compliance Podcast Network. Join us every week as we talk with industry innovators who are making compliance to help business run more efficiently and at the end of the day, more profitably. Here's your host, Tom Fox.
Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox back for another episode. And today I am extraordinarily thrilled to have two gentlemen with me on this podcast. We've been trying to do a podcast for some time. They have not only great stories, but they really have, more interestingly, a very unique product. So I have Ariel Weindling and Andy Hinton, and they are both associated with an entity called NotMe. First of all, Ariel is a recovering lawyer, so obviously that's near and dear to my heart. But Ariel, perhaps you could start with a little bit about your professional background and what led you to found the company.
Sure. So as you said, Tom, first, thank you very much for having us today. It's great to be on your podcast. I'm a recovering employment lawyer. I practiced for 15 years. I was a lawyer at Littler, a very large firm doing management side work, representing management and companies in employment law matters for many years. And then I became a partner at MSK, which is a prominent law firm in Los Angeles. And in 2017, when the Me Too movement started, I realized that I could use my experience as an employment lawyer to try to solve the problem of misconduct. I thought that the way companies and employees together were dealing with misconduct was very inefficient. And I also wanted my daughter to, when she goes into the workplace, to have a tool that she could use so she could be safe and not become the victim or the witness of misconduct. That's what led me to start #NotMe.
And Andy Hinton, I would start off by saying probably needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. He has been in the compliance community as long as probably anybody I know. He was CCO at Google. I've known him for about probably 10 or 11 years. But the thing that's always struck me about Andy is he has given back to the community. And in many cases, he's given back without asking for anything. And he's always done that. But I'm going to ask him to tell us a little bit about his journey because it's changed over the past few months. And he and Ariel are now associated with, I guess I should say, #NotMe.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that. After many years leading compliance at Google and also before that at GE, I left the company at the end of March and became an advisor for #NotMe. In a very substantive way, it's just a continuation of the mission that I had at Google and at GE, which is how to leverage the employee population to help organizations do better when it comes to risk detection, risk monitoring, and ultimately risk management. And the reason why #NotMe caught my attention is its approach where the reporter, the employee is first, seems to be right. Based on my experience, based on the research that's out there, the growing body of research is out there, it seems to be the right approach to really getting good at this. Too many organizations and too many services that are out there to support organizations focused on the organizational benefits and the organization's perspective. NotMe, much more focused on serving and supporting the employees and potential reporters, which I think is a tectonic shift in approach.
Ariel, I'm extraordinarily moved by your thoughts about wanting to make a tool that would help your daughter feel safe in her workplace. I have a 23-year-old daughter, and I really want her to have the opportunities that perhaps three of us had and not have to fight some of the battles that others have had to fight all the way along. But you have a goal with #NotMe, which is to really change workplace culture and to make workplaces safe for everyone. And I was wondering if you all could both kind of share with me, those are pretty lofty and noble goals. How do you actually think you can help implement those goals?
It's funny we're doing this podcast today when we are all mourning RBG, who was really a pioneer in the fight against gender discrimination. And to answer your question, I personally think, and not only me, but also experts that we have been working with for a few years now, we believe that safety is key in the workplace, whether we are speaking about psychological safety or physical safety. They are key to an organization. Of course, they are key to an employee because employees cannot do good work if they are not safe. But safety benefits all stakeholders of the company. And, misconduct in the workplace is really an abuse of power. It's never about gender. It's not about sex. It's not about race. It's really an abuse of power. from a person dominating another one. And the way we can help with safety as a tool is twofold. Is by disrupting the way misconduct reporting is handled by company. That's number one. And the other way is by making it very easy for anybody to speak up, whether it's a witness or the victim. The key for us is to make sure that any barrier to reporting are taken down. So hashtag NotMe can help with the power imbalance that exists in the workplace. We can do that by doing two things mostly. One, taking down any barriers to reporting, making it very easy and safe for anyone to report, whether the person is the victim or a witness to misconduct. And we can also help by giving the right tool that companies need to have in order to manage misconduct when someone speak up. What we want to do at hashtag NotMe is tell companies to stop looking at an employee report as a liability, but rather as an opportunity to listen, to discuss, to communicate, and to course correct what needs to be course corrected.
And let me pick up on that last point and also tie into something you said, which I thought was extraordinarily important, which was to leverage the employee population. And I think we both have read a fair amount of academic research that indicates a company with a reporting system, not just a hotline, not just intake, but an entire system and culture of reporting is a much better run and indeed more profitable company. And you really take that, it seems to me, from the business perspective of leveraging a pool of talent, resources, and information that a compliance officer or a company may not be utilizing with this tool.
I just think that's exactly right. The ability to energize and engage employees to do a better job around risk identification, risk reporting, risk management is truly a potential tremendous asset for an organization. And lots of data out there shows that when it's appropriately leveraged, it does make the organization better in longitudinal and latitudinal ways that are too many even to go through now, not just about risk reporting, but even things like profitability, revenue generation. Those go up in organizations that can be more effective at creating the kind of culture that supports the issue reporting that's at the foundation of NotMe. And NotMe has really done a nice job of really supporting, emphasizing with, and ultimately giving more power to employees and potential reporters to help energize that culture and address the power dynamics that Ariel has already alluded to.
So Ariel, could you maybe walk us through the tool itself and how or why you think the tool is so disruptive in an overall reporting culture or reporting system?
We have two tools mostly. We have an app that is available for anyone to use. Anybody can go on the App Store or the Google Play Store to use and report, whether or not their company is a subscriber to NotMe. So the app is the tool for the employee where we make reporting super easy. We really guide the employee, and the employee experience is pretty good, apparently, from feedback we've received from employees and from clients. And the other tool we give is a dashboard, very simple yet very sophisticated, with a ton of data analytics. We have AI in our dashboard, and we are the only company right now that can score the severity and pervasiveness of reports. So it's directly from what the employee reports through the app, through the company. And where we are different than any tool I think out there is that the tool NotMe belongs to the employee. The app is for the employees. We are using their personal email addresses, so we maintain and preserve at all time anonymity if people want to, and employers buy into NotMe. So we get reports daily from employees across the country right now telling us about misconduct happening in their workplaces without their companies even being clients.
Let me ask this question really to both of you all because you have enough of a different professional background, and I think the answers are going to be interesting. And it's that you assert that misconduct is not an HR problem, but it's a people problem. And I know, Ariel, you represented companies for a long time on the defense side of employment law, but why do you feel that way? And then, Andy, once again, your perspective, more from the compliance angle.
To me, it's not an HR problem because I think it's very unfair for both the employee population and for HR to have given this mission of solving misconduct to HR. Right now, the issue we are really solving is power abuse and lack of trust. What we're trying to do is trying to bridge that gap that exists between a company and its employees and rebuilding the trust that is missing. It's all about communication in the end. And right now, today, HR cannot efficiently deal with misconduct with the tools and the mission that have been given to HR. That's why we say that it's not a HR problem, it's a people's problem.
Andy, how about from your compliance perspective?
Echoing much of what Ariel said, I think it's unfair to charge HR with this as their problem to solve. I mean, HR is in a difficult position. There are perceived conflicts that make it hard for employees to fully trust HR in these very, very difficult situations. I think the development and deployment of a tool like #NotMe, the engagement of an outside entity to help drive more independence and less potential bias in the reporting and even the response process, together with, again, harnessing and increasing the power of the employee, the reporter, and their perception of how the process works to drive improvements and innovation in both reporting and response is key to addressing the misconduct issue. And just leveraging your employees, doing what every organization wants to do, what every regulatory agency is expected to do, effectively leverage your employee population to help you manage risk.
Let me see if I can translate that into a little bit of compliance ease. It sounds like to me that the tool both detects, but also can be used to prevent. And if the functions of a compliance program are prevent, detect, and remediate, then you can take the information that is derived either from the detection mode or the prevention mode and use that to remediate or fix the problem. Would that be a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think exactly right. But I think this is really important. Around prevent, detect, respond, remediate, there's this concept of the culture that makes those processes, those procedures effective. Deploying the tool, promoting the tool, the platform that is the tool that allows you to put out communications that are supportive of reporting, supportive of the reporting culture, helps create the culture. That's the foundation for the effectiveness of the detection, the prevention, and the response processes that are core to a compliance program.
Ariel, anything to add to that?
No, I think it's very well said. I think it really starts with prevention, and prevention starts with reporting. If people do not speak up, if people do not say what's happening that is bothering them, that is a nuisance in the workplace, companies cannot remedy the situation. They cannot course correct. So we really are trying to encourage a speak up culture where people really feel safe speaking up early. So people in HR, compliance, legal, or any leaders can course correct and address the situation before they escalate. Because in the workplace, it doesn't go from 0 to 60 overnight. It starts slowly. Someone is trying something, and because no one speaks up, it deteriorates. We're trying to prevent that.
So now let me see if I could maybe take a little bit different angle on more regulatory speak. Because in June of this year, the Department of Justice released its updated evaluation of corporate compliance programs. And there were a couple of concepts in there that seemed to me to speak exactly what you guys are talking about. Obviously, they talked about data, but they broadened that out to information, that a compliance professional, CCO, a compliance function needs to have access to information. And with that information, you have continuous monitoring and, more importantly, continuous improvement. And it strikes me that this tool directly answers the DOJ challenge for information on a continuous basis that allows you to, as you said, Andy, respond and remediate, but also just improve your compliance program. Would you guys find that to be correct as well?
Honestly, couldn't say it better than you just said it, Tom. It's exactly right. It goes beyond DOJ requirements. In the context of today, with COVID, with racial justice issues finding their way into employment situations, and companies looking for ways to not only demonstrate to regulators, but demonstrate to their employees their commitment to addressing misconduct generally, but specifically racism, discrimination, and harassment in the workplace. The #NotMe is an easy way to do that. By deploying it, promoting it, you express to your employees that you are taking these issues seriously and you're doing fundamental concrete things to address them.
Gentlemen, unfortunately, we are near the end of our time for this episode, but I was wondering if any of our listeners wanted more information about either #NotMe or maybe to follow up with either one of you all. Could they do so? And if so, how would they do it? Ariel, you want to start?
Sure. They could visit the website, not-me.com, and request a demo. And they can always email me at Ariel, Ariel, at not-me.com. And we'd always be happy to discuss with anyone.
And I'm on LinkedIn, and folks can reach me through LinkedIn at their leisure, and I'm happy to talk about this. So please do.
And I'm going to gratuitously throw in that Andy knows about as much compliance as anybody. So he's a great resource as well. Gentlemen, this has been a lot of fun, and I really think that you guys are onto something, and I'm going to perhaps see if sometime down the road I might be able to come back and visit with you again.
If you want to stay up to date on the latest innovations in compliance and help your business run more efficiently, subscribe to this podcast and help spread the word by leaving a review.